All right, everybody, welcome back and thanks for watching. It has been a week in your time or the next episode, but in my time, it's been a couple weeks since I first talked about Four Roses 80 proof bourbon. All right, so as you can see from the bottle here, that been kind of getting to know the Four Roses a little good. Like I said, I was kind of comparing this side by side with another bourbon at the same time. So let me just think back to what I said on the first video and I'll tell you my long-term review. And by the way, just in case this is your first time watching this video is unlike any other on YouTube because I don't just taste bourbons to give you my first impression. I give you a long-term review also after spending lots of time with it. Reason being is that, sometimes it changes while it's in the bottle. Sometimes you might eat something and may infect it. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, now back to what I was saying about the long-term review. So I remember when I first took this bourbon and I first tasted it, I was thinking to myself that I was smelling like flowers or something. So I went and did the knowledge, did the research on the company, and I found out that probably it's because of the mash bill. So in case you don't know, the mash bill is simply the recipe that they use to make whiskey. For bourbon, it usually has to be at least 51% corn, majority corn, but then they'll also use rye as a flavoring agent and barley. So Four Roses I found out, is known for being a high rye type of bourbon. At Four Roses, they have 10 different recipes and they basically blend those 10 different together to come up with what's in this bottle. So on average, the rye content in this bottle is going to be about twice as much rye as what's in your standard bourbons. What that means is that there's going to be less of the corn sweetness coming through, and it's going to start heading toward the spicy side. And because of the rye, you tend to get this kind of grassy smell or flowery smell, kind of like what I'm thinking I picked up here. Didn't know that before, but hey, that's why you got to do the knowledge. You got to study your bourbon. You got to make sure you know what you're talking about. So, it's been a week. Had a fun time with this. Something that really happened was interesting to me is that when I first opened it, it was kind of maybe heading toward the spicy side. So by spicy, I don't mean like cayenne pepper. I mean like black pepper. So think about if you get a salad and you crush some pepper on your salad, right? It's just giving you a little bit of bite there. So that's kind of what I noticed the first time. But as this stayed open for probably after about the first week, it kind of mellowed out, meaning that it headed more toward, I guess, the middle. More, you got flavor and not just like grassy kind of stuff, for me anyway. Something else funny that happened is I remember we had tacos one day. Man, chicken tacos with lettuce, tomato, pico, guacamole. And I remember later on that night, after having some of this, it was just amazing. I mean, somehow just whatever flavors I had in my mouth with this, it was just really good, different from any time I had tasted before. So since then, I mean, like I said, I've been just trying it in different times. I've been comparing it to another bourbon that I'm kind of doing at the same time also. Foreshadowing videos coming up on that. And this one just stood out. So as far as 80 proofers, I'm gonna go ahead and just say this is probably the best 80 proofer there is that I've had so far. So cheers to that. Yeah. Just not heading toward the sweet side, but heading more toward the spicy side. But yeah, flavor. Would I take this over Jack Daniels? Yes. Would I take this over Jim Beam? Yes. Would I take this over Basil Hayden? I'd probably have to say yes, because, and again, it comes down to the overall value. You can get this thing for like $20 all day and it's readily available. I mean, it's just a lot of bang per buck. You got flavor there. Unfortunately, they probably won't have this at a bar or something. So if you have a bar, you'll have to go with whatever they have there. But I'm probably not a big fan of 80 proof bourbons to begin with. But if I was going to someone's house, I would ask them if they have this. I would probably go with this so far because you just get a lot of flavor. It's an overall value. It's just fantastic. Not to mention, I like the story of the company, how they came back. They're pretty much unique. They got the 10 different mash bills. You can go to their website. So you just have a lot of different opportunities with this to get a lot of different flavors. So obviously next I got to go on to the smaller batch, and then I got to go on to the single barrel. I just want to see kind of if this is a mixture of the 10. I'm just curious as to what it's going to do if it heads toward the, low rye side or the higher rye side. I'm just curious as to how it's going to change in those different varieties. But I like it. I would highly recommend it. If you're going into the liquor store, the liquor aisle, I mean, they should have this at pretty much any place you can think of. So I would definitely add this to your lineup. I think it's great. 2 thumbs up. I like it. Who is this for? I think this is for the beginner and more the advanced. Although you're advanced people, by advanced I mean people who have tried a lot of bourbons. They're probably not going to go for 80 proofers in general. But if you are going to go for an 80 proofer, grab this, try it. Like I said, it's about $20 for a fifth. So if you're a long-term Jack drinker or something else like that, just, maybe give this one a shot. If you don't like it, then but yeah, this is a little bit different. It's something different. Life is all about, experience. And so I'm glad I had a chance to experience this. I'm looking forward for more Four Roses products in the future. I want to thank you guys for watching this series. I got a lot more stuff coming up. Just got a couple more 80 or 90 proofers that I want to do. And then I'm pretty much going to be done with those. I'm going to go head on to more of like the 100 proof stuff after that. But stay tuned. The journey continues.